Inverse trigonometric functions, Set 1. A robotic fire extinguisher is deployed to put out the fire in the ceiling of a room. Its sensors calculate its distance from the wall to be 3 meters and height of the ceiling to be 5 meters away. The sensors also need to calculate the angle at which the water jet has to be tilted to put out the fire in the ceiling. Inverse trigonometric functions can help in the calculation. Let us define inverse trigonometric functions. To begin with, one must understand that an inverse function is simply an exchange between the x and y in a one-to-one function. One-to-one simply means that every element of the range of the function corresponds with exactly one element of the domain. From the graph of sine x, we observe that sine pi by 6 is equal to sine 5 pi by 6 is equal to 1 by 2. So, the trigonometric function sine x is not a one-to-one function. In order to create an inverse function, we must restrict its domain. The restricted sine function is given by f of x defined as sine x when x lies between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Otherwise, f of x defined as 2 undefined. From the above function, we have domain of f is equal to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. And range of f is equal to closed interval minus 1 to 1. And from the graph, we observe that the restricted sine function is one-to-one and hence has an inverse. Let us define the inverse sine function. F maps from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 to minus 1 to 1 is defined by f of x is equal to sine x is a bijection. F maps from minus 1 to 1 to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 defined by sine inverse x is equal to theta if and only if sine theta is equal to x is called inverse sine function or arcsine function. The inverse function f inverse of x is denoted by f inverse of x is equal to sine inverse of x or arcsine x. Observations. Domain of sine inverse of x is equal to open interval minus 1 to 1 and range of sine inverse of x is equal to closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Sine inverse of x is equal to y if and only if sine of y is equal to x and minus pi by 2 less than or equal to y less than or equal to pi by 2. Sine of sine inverse x is equal to x for x belonging to closed interval minus 1 to 1. From the graph, we observe that sine inverse x is an odd function and sine inverse minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x.